So you got a rusty tank, and you could buy the expensive cleaners that are acids that are expensive, and what are you gonna do with it when you gotta get rid of it? What about the household things that cost you $3 that are easy to dispose of that you could drink if you needed to? Little for the bike, little for me. Maybe not after it's come out of the rusty tank though. You see, rust needs an acid to neutralize it, and if you drank all of these, I bet it would clean you out as well. So we're gonna compare these, the Sparky Cola and the white vinegar, to see how well it'll clean rust out of a tank for, I don't know, just a few bucks. So we got this tank off of a Honda scooter, and it's about medium rust inside. It'll probably take a few days for the Coca-Cola, Sparky Cola, to sit inside the tank, and we'll also compare it to the vinegar as well to see which one balances out. Both are cheap, both you can drink. All right, we got the bottom capped off, so let's fill it up. Little for the bike, little for me. I don't really like Sparky Cola that much. Oh! And what's Coke without a little rum? Just a little bit. All right, for comparison's sake, we're gonna take the fuel cap that's rusty on the bottom, and we'll put it in a little cup of vinegar to compare the two. Little for the bike, little for me. Vinegar and Coke do not mix. And for a nice head-to-head comparison, we've got two rusty bolts that we're gonna put, one with vinegar, one with Coke, to see which one works better or the difference between. Do not drink the vinegar. Now, I haven't cleaned out the tank at all. Some people like to throw like nuts and bolts in there and shake it all around. I wanna just see just the test with just the Coke and the vinegar. What's it over? Seems to be overflowing. All right, we'll pick this up in about 24 hours. It definitely has removed some rust, but it's not quite done yet. It's hard to get the camera in there, but there's a little bit more to go. I'm gonna dump it back in and go for another 24 hours. You can see that the vinegar definitely removed a whole bunch of the rust. I think it's got a little bit more to go. We'll let it run a little bit longer. Note that it also removes zinc plating. Okay, so it's been 2 days, 48 hours, and let's check the update. So I pulled the Sparky Cola out of the tank, and it's about the same as yesterday, not much better. It is still better. I think I'm gonna leave it still another day or two at least. But the fuel cap on the underside looks wonderful. That thing we can call basically done. And for the test comparison of the Coca-Cola and vinegar, the rusty bolts, let's take a look at those. The Coca-Cola here on the left definitely has rust removed, but it still has some rust, whereas the vinegar is nice and clean. So these two screws show the head-to-head. The vinegar works better than the Coke, but the Coke still does remove rust. I think the vinegar is more acidic. It's got better acids. This says acids something. The Sparky Cola says phosphoric acid. So I think I'm gonna combine the Sparky Cola with some vinegar as well to get it to go faster. Maybe we can get it done by tomorrow. I would note to probably do this all outside because I've made a mess everywhere. There's cola and vinegar all over the bench and the floor. And remember, kids, from chemistry class, your acids need a base to neutralize. The base is not in the band, but in a baking soda, base from chemistry stuff. This will neutralize the acid that's still on the vinegar here that we're gonna finish up the gas cap. I remember as a kid making like vinegar and baking soda volcanoes because they react with one another. Vinegar, the acid, baking soda, the base, when you put them together nice and fresh, bubbly, bubbly. Oh. I think since the vinegar is neutralized some from the rust, this shouldn't get fuzzy. Okay, so we skipped a day and we're on day 5 of the Rusty Tank Challenge. Guess what? We have a nice, clean, rust-free tank. So I've drained the mixture out of there. Remember, for the last 2 days, it's been a mixture of Coca-Cola and vinegar because the vinegar definitely does work better. And even though I learned to use a funnel, it got everywhere. Okay, so it's hard to see inside the tank still with the camera and the, yeah, but just around the top, you can definitely see that it is nice and clean. It did the job perfectly. Now, I was getting out all sorts of chunks and dust and rust, but there's still a bunch in there because the neck of it, I can't get it all out. And there still could be some loose stuff that I can't see, so we're gonna throw some washers in there and give it a little shake. Now I'm gonna go take it outside so I don't make a mess, and we're gonna dump it out, try and get all the chunks out, put some of the mixture back in, shake it around, dump it out, and try and get all the stuff out that we can. I mean, look at all those chunks that we got out. Okay, once you got all the vinegar mixture out and all the stuff you put in there and all the chunks out that you got, now you need to neutralize the acid that the vinegar is, or Coca-Cola. You're gonna dump in some baking soda along with some water, a decent amount, just swish it all around in there, and then to neutralize the acid, it'll fizz up again like we saw earlier, and dump that all out as well. Then you're gonna hose it out with water, get all the baking soda mixture out that you can. Then dump that out and get all the water out that you can, the best you can this time, as much as you can. Now, you have to move quickly between these steps because flash rust is a thing. Don't even let it sit like 5 minutes. If you gotta go pee before you start all this. Then you're gonna dump in about a cup's worth of alcohol per gallon. Haha, more ingredients we can drink. No, not that alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Just get that when you're at the grocery store. And once you got the alcohol in there, swish it all around in there the best that you can to absorb any of the water that's left remaining in there. Then you dump that out as well. And then working quickly, what I do is I get a rag along with a grabber and shove that down inside the tank and swish it all around. You'll have some remaining little residue or chunks left over, and you'll be able to clean that all out the best that you can. Then you need to go straight to filling it all up with fuel immediately. Again, flash rust goes real quick, so all the way to the brim with fuel. Then that's it, you got a rust-free tank for, I don't know, a couple bucks. The vinegar and Coca-Cola is cheap. Hey, thanks for watching. We got more videos to come of DIY, and builds are coming of things you have not seen before.